What is going on? I am going to demonstrate to you a few little secrets of doing some pretty cool snow bases. It's a little difficult because this model is so big. This is the Steam Forge Games Frost Giant. I have him all painted up. He has been based and matte coated with my favorite matte varnish, AK Interactive Ultra Matte Varnish. And then the next step, after he's all matte varnished, I went ahead and added liquid frost from Green Stuff World, and you can see that gives it that frosty effect, just like it says on the bottle. It makes the tufts look frosty, but this only goes so far, and you're going to use a lot of it because this is actually like 2 coats of it to even get it to do that. If you keep adding more coats, you will be able to build up your ice crystals even more, but you'll go through this pretty fast. So what I like to do is I use some of this to add the kind of overall frost effect, and then I'm going to show you the secrets of the Valhallan Blizzard. So first off, I think a good rule of thumb is matte coat, varnish your model first before you add your snow effects, because you want the snow to have a little bit of that glossy shine, that wet look to it, because it is frozen water. So this doesn't naturally have a ton of that effect, but what I'm going to show you here is a few products that you can mix with it to help give it a little more of a slushy ice kind of look to it. So if you're sticking with Games Workshop, go ahead and pick yourself up a bottle of Ard Coat, the technical paint. This is a gloss varnish. If you like Vallejo, go ahead and get gloss varnish. If you want to stick with the AK Interactive, get yourself some glossy varnish. Or what we're going to use today is actually the Vallejo water texture, which is basically a clear gloss varnish, or maybe even a clear gloss resin. And I'm just going to demonstrate to you. So this here, if you're wondering, is the Necro paint pot holder. This is available on the current Kickstarter for the Ghost Tiny paintbrushes. So go ahead and click the link below and check out that Kickstarter. It's live right now. Over 1,000 backers, about to hit the 3rd stretch goal. It's awesome. All right, let's jump in. Valhallan Blizzard. So we've used quite a bit of this. This is my second to last model for my giant army, my Sons of Bahamut army. And he needs some snow. So you can see here, it kind of has a baking soda, white, thick paint kind of feel to it. And we're going to try to scoop it out, but I'm going to try to leave enough that I can do. I have one more big giant to paint. And I want to leave enough that I can finish that last big giant without buying another pot. So that's it. We'll just scoop some out there. And then we're going to take water texture, or any of these gloss varnishes I showed you, and we're just going to put a little bit in our little plastic cup. And what we're going to do is just mix some of that in. Basically swish your brush around in it and then mix it in here while you apply. So big flat areas that maybe you didn't want to put all the crystals, but you want to cover up with some snow effect. And there you go. You can just go back and forth by dipping your brush in the water texture and then mixing it with some of your snow paint. And when this dries, it's going to give it that kind of wet snow look. This is maybe like, you know, some of the frost or whatever of the snow has melted. Springtime snow, I don't know. But we're just going to apply these little kind of snowy piles around the base to increase the overall winter effect without using so much of our crystal frost paint from Green Stuff World, Liquid Frost. So I think we need a little bit more. And it's really simple. So basically, just a quick recap before we call it a video. What you're doing is you're adding this glossy varnish, or in this case, this water texture paint, to make the snow a little more easy to work with, to spread around, to create pools, but also because of that heavy gloss finish in comparison or contrast to the matte coated model and base, it's going to give it that wet, fresh morning snow look. And when you mix it in with a variety of different kinds of tufts and different kinds of snow effects, you could use even maybe a little bit of white flock and mix it in with this to create some different kind of snows. I believe there's a product, it's called like crushed glass. You could also mix in and create a really, really slushy look. But this will give you a really slushy look too, because you could basically just thin it down more and more and more. It also extends the life of your Valhallan Blizzard because, you know, GW paints aren't always the cheapest, but they make quite a few very nice products. So that's it. We basically are just putting these slushy piles of snow. And I'm not going to waste any of this. I think he's got quite a bit. But you know what? We already put it on the thing. So let's make sure we use it up. And just try and get the snow in on the model where we think it naturally would have collected, or what part maybe needs a little bit of something that makes it a little more interesting to look at, because maybe maybe there's no texture or tuft there, and this just helps bring it all together. So there you go. This is a great little tutorial for getting a little bit more out of your Valhallan Blizzard if you're working on like an ogre army. Also, these are water-based, so of course that's a huge bonus. But yeah, if you're working on an ogre army, a Sons of Bahamut giant army, maybe like a big frost giant for AOS or D&D, that's a way to add a little bit of realism to your basing. So there you go. There you have it. Hopefully you enjoyed this one. Make sure you whack that like button, hit subscribe, and check out the pinned comment or the links below to check out the new Ghost Tiny Kickstarter campaign. Pick yourself up a new set of paintbrushes, and don't be afraid to add on the Necro paint pot holder. This helps you prevent knocking over GW style paint pots. So no more spilling, just painting, having a good time. Talk to you in the next one.